If I had a dime for every comment that was thrown my way, literally every single day, that stated this: if you don't like it, don't watch, I would absolutely have enough money to quit YouTube and never work a day in my life ever again. If you don't like it, don't watch. So what people are telling me is that when I am given a shit product, I am supposed to bend over, take it up the ass, accept it for what it is, and say nothing. I can't say that it sucks. I can't fight the system. I can't state an opinion. It isn't really even an opinion at that point. It's just factual information. The show is garbage. Monday Night Raw is absolutely insufferable television. It may very well be the worst program in all of cable television. We all know where WWE is going in 2019. They're going to Fox Sports. But what if all of our suffering for the last 6 years on Monday Night Raw, ever since they went to 3 hours, what if all of this suffering that we have endured on Monday nights, even on Tuesdays, all you have to do is go back to 2017. Smackdown was doing the worst fucking television I have ever seen for that brand with Jinder Mahal as world champion. What if all of the suffering that we've had to endure over the last 5-6 years is coming to an end? How could it be coming to an end, might you ask? Well, we all know where WWE is going in 2019. They are going to Fox 5, Fox Sports. What if Fox Sports is our savior in changing the quality of WWE programming? Is it that hard to believe? Is it that far out of a realm of possibility? Why do we like NXT so much? Genuinely, I'm asking you this question. Why do we love NXT so much? I'll give you a couple of seconds to answer that question while I take a sip of my cold beverage. Why do we love NXT so much? Is it because everybody on the roster that is presented on television you have a genuine connection to? You actually care about? The majority of them, I would say yes. They have a damn good announce team? I say so. They have storytelling that is simple to follow, that continues on a week-to-week basis. Absolutely. Absolutely. They have just the right amount of time on weekly television to keep you coming back for more, giving you the feeling of, I can't wait for next week. They have pay-per-views spread out throughout the entire year, 5 to 6 at most, that feel bigger each and every time that they do them. So much care and so much love and so much preparation goes into these shows, and Triple H's mentality when going into TakeOver is, how can we be better than the last show that we put on? That's the type of mentality I want my boss to have. That's the type of mentality everybody in any profession should have. There is attention to detail on NXT, the likes of which we don't see on Monday and Tuesday night at all. I can go on and on and on. Those are just some of the reasons why we all love NXT. Now, I genuinely ask you this same question about Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. What is it that you like about Monday and Tuesday nights on the main roster? Outside of SmackDown's roster, probably nothing. Monday Night Raw, shooting blanks. Shooting blanks. They went into a 9-inning ball game and they got no hit. They got shut out. And they continue to get shut out every single week. Barely getting a hit or two on a Monday night. And that is absolutely factual information, folks. This is not a rib. This is not me joking around. This is not me in character. Monday Night Raw very well may be the worst television show in all of cable television. Right now, they have produced some of the worst content in the 25 years of that show. What do they need to do? What do they need to do? The answer is simple. The answer is so simple that when I say it, people don't understand it. The answer is simple, so simple that when I say it, all the people who think they know it all in the YWC, they turn the other cheek and they don't want to listen to it because they know it's fucking true. The answer is so simple that when I say it, people don't understand. Monday and Tuesday night, it's entertainment. If you want your smart mark bullshit, watch NXT. Well, let me tell you something, motherfucker. Whatever they're doing in NXT is praised everywhere. Whatever they're doing in NXT is the way Raw and Smackdown need to operate. And if Fox 5 has anything to do with it, we may very well be getting the NXT feel on Raw and SmackDown. Anything that Raw and SmackDown is doing is not entertainment. I am not entertained. I don't laugh when they crack a joke. I don't laugh when there's a comedy segment. I am not even pleased with the amount of wrestling that we see on these shows. Never mind the amount of wrestling, the quality of wrestling. I am tired of the same old characters being pushed for the same fucking political agenda of one man to please one man. While everybody else fucking starves and the audience is thirsty for other talent and quality storytelling. If Fox 5 has anything to do with it, we may be getting Raw and SmackDown with a real sports-like presentation that continues on a week-to-week basis where it doesn't make us feel like blithering idiots. And if this has any truth to it, I absolutely welcome a move to Channel 5. I absolutely welcome this new feel to Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live because whatever they are doing right now is not working. It is not working. After everything that is said, this is a professional wrestling company. And what they are doing is not professional wrestling. It is absolutely nauseating to the point where I don't even know what to call it anymore. They get by week to week to week with storytelling that doesn't make any sense. I guarantee you that this show is written on a week-to-week basis and that there's no planning that goes into anything on these shows. None. None. Pay-per-views don't feel special anymore. The roster, the brand split doesn't feel special at all. It's the same old matches every single fucking week with no change in sight. But if Fox 5 has anything to do with it, we may very well be getting an NXT feel on Monday and Tuesday nights. Fox is reportedly wanting SmackDown to make big creative changes already. And we're not even out of October in 2018. We have a whole nother year till we get to Channel 5 and SmackDown being on Channel 5. SmackDown Live is coming to Fox on Fridays, starting in October 2019. How that affects my channel right now, I don't know. Because if I got to do a SmackDown review on Friday night, I will probably do off the script a day later on Saturday. So that's what we might be doing. That may be the new schedule change there. I haven't really thought about it yet. I'm really going to poll you guys and gauge what you guys are feeling about that. But that's a whole nother topic for a different fucking video. Let's talk about this, which is absolutely massive news. Therefore, in 1 year's time, we'll be asking ourselves if WWE was able to pull in the kind of viewers needed to keep a show on a network like Fox 5. Apparently, Fox is already positioning themselves to have the WWE change the way that they are doing things. Anybody could see it. Anybody could see it. I see it every week. You see it every week. The people who don't see it every week are the people who are sucking the WWE dick on a weekly basis with whatever the fuck they're doing on this platform. The Wrestling Observer newsletter is reporting that Fox is building a Thursday through Sunday sports block on the Fox network starting in 2019. And WWE is obviously going to hold down Friday nights. But Fox wants WWE to start presenting more pro wrestling on the show rather than comedy. You don't say. You don't say. Why is NXT praised every single week about what they do? And the little people that don't like NXT are out of their fucking minds. Closed-minded simpletons. Why is NXT praised on a week-to-week basis? It's because they present pro wrestling in a sport that is pro wrestling. WWE has this identity crisis. They don't know if they want to be a dramatic TV series. They don't know if they want to be a fucking comedy. They don't know if they want to be this, that, this, that, this, that. Science fiction, horror. I don't know what WWE is anymore. All I know is that it's not good. It's not good at all. So for Fox wanting WWE to start presenting more pro wrestling, that is only a good thing. Because the change in the industry is geared towards pro wrestling. Not comedy, not anything else that WWE is doing. You could still be World Wrestling Entertainment, but build your entertainment through wrestling. And everything will fall into place. You're still going to be on ESPN. You're still going to be at all these award shows. You're still going to be in the public limelight. You're still going to be a publicly traded company. But if you start presenting your company in a way that is catering to the fucking change in this industry, you may actually find those people that somehow are not watching your show anymore. Those lost souls who somehow drifted away from WWE and they don't know why. I could tell you why. Watch 3 hours on Monday night. That's all the answer you fucking need. Going in a more sports direction means Vince McMahon will have to change up his preference of doing more comedy-related angles on Smackdown Live. Fox is also looking at having their sports people on different shows heavily promote WWE. So if you're watching a competitive fucking baseball game, MLB Game of the Week on Fox 5, if you're watching Sunday football, right? And then Saturday's college football. All competitive. It's no joking around. These are serious fucking sports. And these sports are taken seriously by everybody who watches them and consumes them on a weekly, yearly basis. So Vince McMahon changing his preference on what WWE needs to do, good luck on that. But he would be stupid not to adhere to what Fox wants. And if that is the direction that WWE goes, God bless us all. Our answers that we've been seeking for so long have finally come to light. The questions that we wanted answered, these concerns that we wanted addressed, finally, in 2019 could possibly be happening. You think Fox wants Sunday afternoon football, the game of the week, or Sunday night football on Fox 5 to be promoting WWE, and all you see is fucking food fights, and you see all this other bullshit going on? That isn't funny. That isn't entertaining. That's just fucking cringe-inducing garbage. Or do you want legitimate competition? Titles that mean something. Fucking feuds that have meaning. Pay-per-view matches that feel like pay-per-view matches. Big feuds that give you a fucking feeling of 6 years old again. Maybe WWE would actually get on board and build new superstars through the competitive aspect that Fox wants them to change. This is nothing but a good thing. So Fox wants their other shows during the weekend block to heavily promote WWE as well, so it would only stand to reason that Fox wants a more sports-orientated show. Therefore, WWE on Fox might already mean a change from the norm. A change from the norm. Yes, it is the norm, but it would be a change that is absolutely 100% welcome on SmackDown Live. And if SmackDown Live is going through those changes, you can guarantee it. As soon as any praise starts hitting SmackDown, when SmackDown starts driving more viewers to their show for whatever they're doing because of the changes that they made, you can guarantee it that Monday Night Raw is going to do the same goddamn thing. And if not, tough shit. You will have the B show while SmackDown Live has the A show. Never mind that. NXT is going to be the A show. SmackDown will be the B show. And Raw will stay at the C show. Fox has already wanted to make changes from the norm in WWE. After all, there aren't many moments for a dance break during a sports show unless it's a touchdown, and that's usually flagged for unnecessary celebration. I can't even begin to tell you that if this has any truth to it, and if Meltzer and Alvarez and The Observer are reporting this and there's any truth to it, this is the absolute best thing that could possibly ever happen for us wrestling fans. For everybody that's stating, don't like it, don't watch, they are openly admitting without admitting that the show is garbage. And that they're only there because they are A, mind-fucked, B, puppets, C, shills to the WWE product. I don't know anybody watching this show who can openly, genuinely enjoy it for what it is. This show is absolutely fucking miserable to sit through on a weekly basis. If no one wants anything changed on this show, you are not a human fucking being. I am letting you know right now. This is absolutely a breath of fresh air that we so desperately need in the WWE. And like I said, if SmackDown is going through these changes and they're going to be positioned as number one, you can guarantee it that Monday Night Raw is going to feel those same fucking changes. And then we'll have Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday with that NXT feel. Which makes me wonder why we're not seeing anything that NXT is doing, and whatever they're doing is the right way to do things, sprinkled on Raw and SmackDown. But hey, when you got a CEO in Vince McMahon who doesn't even watch fucking NXT, so he don't even know what the fuck's going on. He don't know any of the storylines going on. He doesn't know any of the talent that's down there. He hasn't seen the great fucking 5-star classics that his main roster isn't fucking producing. So what the fuck is he doing? Signing off on the checks, but refuses to watch the best fucking thing that has his logo on it. NXT is the way of this business. NXT is the future of this company. If you're not going to adhere to what they are doing, and if you're not going to sit down in class and take the fucking notes that are needed to change this show for the better, then maybe half of the fucking people working backstage don't belong there. I've said it how many fucking times? NXT is the fucking geek with the grade A fucking, with the 4.0 GPA. Straight A's all through the fucking board. NXT is that geek that you're going to fucking cheat off of when it comes to the final exam. So Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, do me a fucking favor. Sit next to the fucking geek. Peek over your shoulder a little bit and see what the fuck they're doing. Because 9 times out of 10, he's got the right fucking answer. And for all the fucking idiots out there that want to say, oh, well, Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live are entertainment. WWE isn't about pro wrestling. They got wrestling in the fucking name. Last time I seen. If you want wrestling, go watch NXT for all the smart marks out there. That's cool. We'll watch NXT, and then we'll be the same fucking vocal majority. We're not a minority anymore. We're a fucking majority. I'll be leading the vocal majority, just telling you, well, your show sucks. This show sucks. And I will relish in the fact of proving you wrong, making you look like a fucking idiot, and continuing to spew NXT as the number one show and the way that this company needs to fucking operate. I've been right for all these years. If this comes to be true, there is a fucking God. There is a God. Because I want nothing but this company to succeed. For all the people that say, I hate watch, and I feed off negativity, and I spew nothing but negativity, I'm a cancer to the internet wrestling community, fuck you. There's nobody in this fucking community that wants to see this company thrive more so than I do. I want it to be done the right way. They got the most talented fucking roster that they've ever assembled, and they're wasting 95% of it. You put all your eggs in one fucking basket with Roman Reigns, and look at what it's done to Raw. Killed it. Absolutely killed it. So don't ever tell me I'm fucking wrong. I've been right all these years. I've been saying WWE needs to take a little from NXT and start doing what they're doing on Monday Night Raw and Smackdown Live. And now here we are. Here we are to open this show today, talking about how Fox Sports, of all fucking companies, bringing in WWE for $2 billion. You better believe that WWE is going to fucking listen to them. They may be that spoiled fucking brat that don't want to listen to their parents, but the parents, Fox, knows what's good for them. Believe me. This is off the script. Get ready, man. There's a ton of fucking news we're going to go over right here in part one this weekend. Don't go anywhere. We're going to hit the intro, and I'll be right back, right here on Off the Script. Off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking filth. And I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not. WWE is great, man. Fuck you, Japan, and Kenny Omega, Okada. Johnny! What is it, man? Can I suck your dick? What is it, man? And this is the number one fucking podcast right here on YouTube.com. This is Off the Script. Man, as I'm looking at this right now, I'm looking at my YouTube homepage, and I'm looking at my creator studio. I'm looking at a number that reads 98,987. And I'm pretty sure by the time this podcast goes up, we'll be at 99,000 officially. It's happening, ladies and gentlemen. It is absolutely happening. And the best decision I think I've ever made was to continue working on my own. I feel like I have really pushed through and gained more new fans, and I made a better product, and I just did everything the way it should be done, no matter how many times people want to vilify me for being something that I'm really not. I got a nice gig at House of Glory. I got a great fucking community. I got a great podcast, and I got experience in this industry that I love, that I'm continuing to build upon every single day. Sponsors that reach out to me every single week telling me how much of a great job that I'm doing and that they're proud to be here. I'm happy that we've come together, man, and battled through everything, and we're looking at only 1,000 away from being at 100,000 and that fucking silver play button being hung on the wall right here, man. Can't wait. Thank you all so very much, man. It's very, very exciting to see what's going on and the growth of this channel. Man, it was a big week for WWE. Not Raw or SmackDown. Not Raw or SmackDown. Raw did nothing. Raw did nothing but rinse and repeat as always. Do you believe we got another Dogs of War versus Shield match on Monday Night Raw? And then people want to tell me, well, if you don't like it, don't watch. So I guess you're okay with seeing the same main event that we've seen 7 different fucking times in a span of a month and a half. Nothing happened on Monday Night Raw. Ronda Rousey cut a promo, which apparently was written by herself. WWE gave her permission to write the promo and then go out there and spew the same bullshit that AJ Lee did in her response to the Bella Twins. That's pretty much what that was. It was WWE regurgitating what AJ Lee did many years ago in the form of Ronda Rousey. And then, here's the kicker. There were some people who used to write for the WWE that had problems with what Ronda Rousey was given the microphone to say. This ex-writer, I think his name is Tom Cassiello, he went on social media and said, I don't believe WWE is still going about the way of telling storylines with who slept with who. Or if the women got anywhere, it's because they slept their way to the top. Is that so far out of the realm of fucking truth? I'm pretty sure a lot of shady things are going on in the back. It's called internal politics. It's why the people that should be pushed are nowhere to be seen, and the ones that are being pushed are mere puppets. Simple as that. Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella, listen, I understand what's going on with Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella. It's simple wrestling 101. Might as well play off the fact that nobody likes the Bella Twins, and with the recent actions of Botch Mode, WWE figured, let's turn them heel. Let's turn them heel. And we don't like them anyway, but we don't like them for the wrong reasons. We don't like them because they make good heels. We don't like them because they don't belong in the position that they're in. Simple as that. I could fucking sleep and dream of a better main event for WWE Evolution. Yet we're getting Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella. A match that probably won't last 3 minutes. A match that I don't think is going to sell tickets to any fucking show. And a match that I don't think anybody in the community is really excited about. They're all rolling their eyes, but they're accepting it because they have to. Otherwise, WWE will look down upon them. That main event is a complete fucking joke. I get why it's being done. I do. The wrestler or the wrestling fan in me is I'm nowhere near a fucking wrestler, God forbid. The wrestling fan in me understands where they're going with this and why it was being done. But I can't sit here and agree with it. I can't sit here and get excited about it. I can't sit here and say that Evolution is going to be something that I'm excited about. I'm not. I'm not excited about anything having to do with WWE Evolution at all. And Ronda Rousey is nothing but a mere puppet. Nikki Bella and Brie Bella, they are 2 women who are trying so desperately to fit into the current mold that WWE has painted a picture of with this revolution or the evolution of the women. Meanwhile, they're fighting a battle that doesn't even need to be fought. The Bella Twins are fighting to find relevancy in the women's division. Meanwhile, the WWE and their methods and their way of thinking, they never abandoned what made the Bella Twins so popular. We are in the midst of a divas division. And it's just being covered up by this false pretense of the evolution of women's wrestling. It's not. It's not. And we will talk about that as we go on in the next couple of weeks as we get into this pay-per-view. WWE is doing everything ass backwards. This pay-per-view is paying homage to everybody in the past. They're paying homage to a Ronda Rousey who's done nothing for the evolution of women's wrestling in WWE. Nothing. They're featuring the Bella Twins in the main event. They've done nothing for women's wrestling. And the likes of Sasha and Asuka and Bayley, Ruby Riott, Ember Moon, NXT talent that isn't even going to be featured on the fucking show, outside of Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler. A battle royal, because you have no other fucking ideas for any of the other women on that roster. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And how am I supposed to be excited about Ronda? I have no issues with Ronda. I don't. It's the simple fact that you gave her the title, you gave her the Raw Women's title, and I've said it for a couple weeks now. I want to see if anybody's going to start picking up on what I'm saying. She's the female Brock Lesnar. Not in the sense of her being absent from Monday Night Raw for 5 weeks in a row, or 5 months rather, in a row. She's there every single week. She wrestles on Monday Night Raw where Brock Lesnar did not. But you gave her the title, and in a division where nobody's even on her level, you're pretty much giving her the title to keep it warm, to further push her agenda, whatever that may be. I don't know. You're handcuffing the entire division to put the title on Ronda. Meanwhile, other women on that roster are thirsty and have nothing to fight for. It's a sad state for women's wrestling. It really is. It really is a sad state for women's wrestling. That was really the only thing that happened on Monday Night Raw. Honestly, nothing else happened on Monday Night Raw worth anything. SmackDown Live. SmackDown Live, we've seen the 1000th episode of SmackDown Live. It was a very lackluster affair. Nothing out of the ordinary happened. Well, maybe I'm lying. Evolution came back. Evolution meaning Batista, Randy Orton, Triple H, and Ric Flair. We've seen some seeds being planted for Triple H versus Batista, possibly at WrestleMania. But I have an idea that could very well happen, and there's news on when we may see Batista versus Triple H in the ring one more time. So we'll go over that. I'm not sure if that's going to be in today's news and notes or if that's going to be on tomorrow's news and notes, but we will talk about that definitely on this weekend show. I love that segment, man. I love the segment with Batista and him grabbing the microphone and just kind of going off the cuff and him planting seeds. The way he naturally just came off and genuinely uttered the words, Triple H has done everything. 14-time world champion. He runs this business. He is this business. He's done everything in this business except beat me. And the whole tone of that fucking segment completely changed like that. It was great. It was absolutely great, man. I'm excited for that match. And it needs no build. That's the best thing about it. That's the greatest thing about a Batista Triple H match that could potentially happen with the seeds being planted on Tuesday night. It doesn't need a build. The build is right there in front of you. Batista walked away in 2014. That's all you need to concern yourself with. Why did he walk away? Bring the real life instance into this feud. Why did he walk away? What was he frustrated about? This is the man you got to take your frustrations out on. I hope that is the direction that they go, but I'm excited for it, and I thought the segment was great. Easily the best thing on the entire show. Rey Mysterio came back, and he went one-on-one with Shinsuke Nakamura. He is now in the World Cup. Like we didn't know that was going to happen. I'm hearing Shinsuke Nakamura and Rey Mysterio will be battling for the United States Championship, or the right to be the United States Champion in the weeks to come. So that is probably Shinsuke Nakamura's next feud on SmackDown Live. I could hear him purchasing his tickets right back to New Japan Pro Wrestling as we speak. The guy has been wasted. They missed the boat. I will never, ever, ever let it go that WWE missed the boat on Shinsuke Nakamura at Hell in a Cell last year, and they should have given him the WWE Championship. Even before then, SummerSlam. Jinder should have never beaten Shinsuke Nakamura. Jinder single-handedly ruined SmackDown Live, a reign of terror, and he ruined Shinsuke Nakamura's momentum. I cannot let that go. Shinsuke Nakamura should at least be one-time WWE champion, and WWE completely fucked him up. Completely. Rey Mysterio comes back. He looks better than ever, man. He looks fucking amazing. Rey Mysterio advances to the World Cup. I got a bunch of Saudi Arabian crown jewel news today. We're going to cover on all those topics, or hit, rather, all those topics, cover all those topics. A bunch of stuff coming out of the controversy still heavily being talked about right now for WWE Crown Jewel, which, by the way, on Raw and SmackDown, they did not mention anything about where the event is taking place. They only mentioned that Crown Jewel will be happening on November 2nd. The matches that are advertised will be going on as advertised, but they did not mention where it would be taking place. So I'll give you my thoughts on that when we get into the heart and soul of this very podcast today. This is episode 244, part number 1 for your Friday. Also on Smackdown Live, I was very pleased to see that the Usos were back in action. They beat AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan. That could be a good thing. It's going to be up to WWE to really keep that going. I mean, the Usos beating AJ Styles, who is the WWE champion, and Daniel Bryan has now a nice little string of momentum. Actually, that's a big string of momentum. You beat the world champion and you beat the number 1 contender. What WWE does with that remains to be seen. Normally, in their hands, they would do nothing with it. So I don't really expect the Usos to be featured heavily, but they could be featured heavily now that the New Day dropped the tag team titles to the Bar. And we've seen the unlikely pairing of the Big Show, Sheamus, and Cesaro, which is eerily similar to what we've seen on Monday Night Raw with Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre, and Dolph Ziggler. So it's like tit for tat on Tuesday and Monday nights. Whatever Monday Night Raw does, SmackDown has to do. Not really the type of direction you want to go in. You know, it's not really something that you would model yourself. What did I talk about in the opening of this show today? That NXT is the geek with the straight A's and the 4.0 GPA. But SmackDown is over here not cheating on NXT's test. They're cheating on Monday Night Raw's test. So you're automatically deemed as a failure. You're pretty much telling me without actually saying it, yeah, Teach, I want to flunk this fucking class. That's what they're doing. Who the fuck would want to cheat off Monday Night Raw? Please. You got to do better than that, man. But the Bar is your new WWE SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions. If that means anything to you, I guess, congratulations. Doesn't mean anything to me. They got 3 tag teams in that division and no new, fresh blood. They need tag teams, and they refuse to build tag teams. But that was SmackDown Live. NXT was a great show, man. Really, really good stuff. War Raiders versus the Undisputed Era. You want to talk about tag team wrestling? Holy shit. Go back and watch this match. Tag team wrestling at its peak right here in NXT, man. The best tag team division in all of WWE. NXT's tag team division is the best it's ever been right now. And with the War Raiders and the Undisputed Era, this is the type of shit I want to see. We all knew that this was going to lead to the War Games pay-per-view and pretty much setting the stage for that. War Raiders failed to capture the NXT Tag Team titles. Bobby Fish is now back with the Undisputed Era. He is back. He is 100% healthy, back and ready to go. He interfered after Adam Cole, and his attempt was thwarted by Hanson and Rowe. Bobby Fish, out of nowhere, causes the DQ and saves the tag team titles for the Undisputed Era. Great fucking match, man. And that undoubtedly set up the War Games match, which we will see Survivor Series weekend. If you guys are not on board with Bianca Belair, you need to start getting on board, and fast. The woman is going to be a mega fucking star in WWE if everything goes the way I wish it would go. The woman has got everything. She's beautiful. She's got athleticism. She knows how to move in that ring. She just has it all, man. Everything about her is just must see. And I am very high on Bianca Belair. I think she's great. If you put her next to anybody on the main roster, she may very well be better than everybody that is on the main roster right now. And that's not a difficult thing to achieve with the way WWE is positioning and booking and portraying their women. Bianca Belair and Nikki Cross absolutely killed it in the main event. It went to a no contest because Mr. Black, I'm not talking about Jack Black, I'm talking about Aleister Black. Aleister Black has returned. His groin injury is now all good to go. 100% healed. Lights went out, and then the music hit. His theme music played. All of a sudden, lights came back on, and boom, he was sitting in the middle of the ring. And he's telling Nikki Cross to come on over, like tantalizing her, taunting her. She crawls over, tells him who the attacker was, and he was not happy at all. So that's the way NXT ended, and that was a great cliffhanger. And we will find out who is the attacker of Aleister Black. And by the sounds of it, I hope WWE can make sense of it. Because right now, I really can't think of anything but one thing, and one thing only. And I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but I will say this. Whatever I had heard about Aleister Black and the storyline, it's one of those, if you can't beat them, join them situations. That's all I'm going to say. But if there's anybody in this company that I trust, it's the people managing NXT. So we'll see what happens. That's your week in review in WWE, man. Not a lot going on in WWE, but there is a lot of news. It's a lot of news, but it's a lot of controversial news. And we're going to go over all that stuff today right here on episode 244, part number 1 of this very podcast. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, at JD from NY206, hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. If you're following me on Twitter, you're going to get notified anyway, because everything that uploads to YouTube, it's going to be pushed to the Twitter feed. So you guys should be good to go there. But give yourself not one, but 2 outs. If you don't see it on one, you'll see it on the other, and vice versa. So hit the bell, subscribe on YouTube, get us closer to 100,000 subscribers, and follow me on Twitter, at JD from NY206. I was at Impact's Bound for Glory pay-per-view, and I had a really great time. Again, I want to thank Impact Wrestling, and I want to thank Don Callis for their hospitality. I enjoyed myself. It was a great show. A great show with a controversial ending, man. And I want to thank them. The review is live on the channel right now, so please go and check that out. If you guys want my thoughts immediately, the day after of Bound for Glory, and what happened with Austin Aries and Johnny Mundo, or John Morrison, whatever you want to call him, Johnny Impact, in that Impact World title match where Austin Aries got up, no-sold Morrison's finisher, and then walked out of the building, giving New York City the finger and giving Don Callis the finger as he sat in on commentary. And they no-sold it. They didn't even make mention of anything during the live feed. They just wanted to just let it play out. And that added to the realism of everything, because if it's real, you're not going to really address it live on air, and it's something that you're going to discuss behind closed doors. So if you guys want to hear my review on that, it's live on the channel right now. Go and check that out. Monday Night Raw, Smackdown Live, NXT, NXT UK. I even did an NXT UK review for you guys. And the Mae Young Classic, it's in the NXT review this week, where we talk about episode number 7. Also, WWE 2K19, episode 5 and episode 6, live on the channel right now. Go and check that out. Episode 5 was uploaded on Tuesday, and episode 6 was uploaded on Thursday. So make sure you guys go and check that stuff out. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. I want to thank my Patreons, man. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Dustin Spies pledged $5. Tyler Black, thank you for rejoining, my brother. Tyler Black pledged $5. We got an up in a pledge. Levi, he went from 15 to 20. So he is a $20 Patreon, man. Thank you guys so very much. If you guys want to support the podcast through Patreon, you guys can certainly do so. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. My sponsors, man, you got to show some love to my sponsors, please. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Make sure you guys go get your t-shirts. Coupon code JD from, actually, no, that's the wrong coupon code. I'm sorry. It's BShop20. I got so much shit to remember, man. I'm going off the top of my head. This is literally off the script. I got no notes here. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Use code BShop20 for your 20% off. I can't even fucking talk right now, man. The best designs in the podcast game right here on YouTube, man. 17 different designs in total. And as soon as we hit 99,000, I am going to get that new t-shirt approved by Barbershop Window, and you guys will have the opportunity to purchase the commemorative 100,000 subscriber t-shirt for this very channel, man. It's coming soon, and I can't wait to unveil it for you guys, which could very well be as early as next week. So look forward to that. Harrys.com/script for your free trial shave set. You guys are going to get a razor handle, a razor blade, a bottle of their foaming shave gel, which soothes, hydrates, and it smells fucking fantastic, and a protective case as well. And I tell you, man, Harry's is something that I've been using for 6 months now. It is literally the best shave of your life. Whatever you guys are using right now, you're not going to be using anymore. Harry's is going to be your number one go-to as far as shaving needs. And listen, this is not just a men's product, man. The women could use this as well. It is that smooth. And I don't really want to talk about it because, I'm not a big fan of Christmas. I am the Scrooge. I am the Grinch when it comes to Christmas. But this makes a perfect stocking stuffer, man. All you have to do is pay shipping and handling. Use our link, harrys.com/script. Get yourself a free trial shave set, and you're going to be on your way to using Harry's. And I guarantee you, man, you're going to look at their product, you're going to look at whatever they got on their website, and you're going to go out and buy whatever they got because it's that damn good. harrys.com/script. And finally, guys, Audible. audibletrial.com/offthescript. They're going to give you 30 days. That's 1 month free of their service. And that includes one free audiobook of your choice. A lot of wrestling-related content on there. But on top of that, man, over 200,000 choices to choose from in any genre that you guys want. So it's on there, man. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Make sure you guys go and check that out. Thank you for listening to me and supporting my sponsors, man. Very, very good friends of the show, Audible and Harry's, as well as Pro Wrestling Tees Barber Shop Window. Let's get on with the news, man. I got a lot to get into, and I want to start off. I mentioned Impact Wrestling and Austin Aries, and I have exclusive details on Austin Aries and his Impact status following Bound for Glory. Now, this is coming from SE Scoops. SE Scoops broke this story, and they have an exclusive update on Austin Aries' status with Impact Wrestling. Now, they were attempting to work the wrestlers backstage at Bound for Glory. Nobody knew what was going on. They kept the outcome of the match away from everybody. But this was indeed a work, and now Impact is planning for a loose cannon storyline with Austin Aries in the months ahead. Aries had everyone guessing whether his bizarre actions from Impact's Bound for Glory pay-per-view was a work or a shoot. The situation unfolded in the main event, which saw Johnny Impact capture the Impact World title. Following the finish, Aries immediately got up, exited the stage, and shouted profanity at a commentator, which was Don Callis. I mean, why would he be cursing out Josh Phillips? Everybody curses out Josh Phillips, but Don Callis is the man on Impact Wrestling. And he flipped off Callis, flipped off the Melrose Ballroom in Queens, New York, and all the fans there in attendance, and exited the arena. Now, he leapt up after Starship Pain. Johnny Impact delivered Starship Pain, his finishing move. The referee counted 1, 2, 3, and then Austin Aries no-sold Johnny Impact's finishing move, kind of shitting on the moment. Nobody knew what was going on then. So Aries' reaction had a lot of people questioning how much of what transpired was scripted. Aries' feud with Johnny Impact grew increasingly personal in the days leading up to the show, which included deleted tweets about Johnny Impact's wife, Taya Valkyrie. Now, Aries called Taya Husky, and there was a Hall of Fame ceremony for Abyss, and there was a back and forth at the Hall of Fame ceremony where Aries apologized for the tweets and said, he got out of line. Things were said that should have never been said. And Johnny Impact and Taya went on TMZ, which was odd in itself because I don't remember anybody outside of Matt Hardy when he was there from Impact Wrestling or TNA on TMZ. So just by that alone and seeing Impact on TMZ with Taya kind of threw up the red flag and be like, okay, this is a little bizarre here that Johnny Impact of all guys for Impact Wrestling on TMZ when we know that they don't cover Impact Wrestling. So Austin Aries said, I deleted the tweets about your wife, and then you go on TMZ and you throw me under the bus. You continue to talk shit about me. Meanwhile, I'm over here trying to be the bigger man. So this thing led to a complete brawl. F-bombs being thrown all over the place and a pull-apart brawl. Taya was screaming. Tessa Blanchard, who wrestled Taya at Bound for Glory, was holding Taya back. Don Callis didn't know what the fuck was going on. Josh Matthews was involved in trying to separate these two guys. Abyss, his entire ceremony was ruined by this shit. Crazy. Absolutely crazy shit. According to the sources backstage at Bound for Glory. Now, I didn't know. Some goons on social media thought that they invited me there, that I knew the ending of the show. And I knew if it was a work or a shoot. I didn't know shit. I took a picture and a video of whatever happened, and it blew up on social media. So I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I even talked to people outside who worked backstage at Bound for Glory, and they didn't even know what the fuck was going on. So at least the report is true. According to sources backstage at Bound for Glory, Impact wrestlers were not told about the finish to the Bound for Glory main event and felt like they were being worked by management. One source, who has been with the company for years, told SE Scoops that it felt like an old TNA regime move, and the way it was orchestrated, it felt very old TNA. Immediately after the pay-per-view and the broadcast ended, Impact media relations personnel were shopping the story to outlets such as TMZ, which had covered Aries and Johnny's social media feud a week before the pay-per-view. Now, apparently the entire program was set up because Aries wants to do his own take on the classic loose cannon storyline that Brian Pillman did several years ago in WCW before leaving to join ECW. During that time, Pillman's behavior got so out of line that he was fired by Eric Bischoff, but he later admitted that the entire situation had been planned so he could exit WCW and earn some legitimate heat when he showed up in ECW. As of Sunday night and Bound for Glory, the plan was for Aries to start showing up in other promotions such as Ring of Honor to sell the idea that he really did walk out at Bound for Glory. Eventually, he would return portraying a loose cannon character, and Aries, who did not work Monday's tapings, is not scheduled for any other tapings as of this writing. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, a lot of people were under the impression that it was a real deal, that Aries walked out, and a lot of people were thinking because of the way he is and the way he handles himself and the image that he's kind of created for himself, that he's a dick to work with, and he's got this narcissistic Napoleon complex. Everybody thought that this was a legit deal. So, I'm going to state what I stated on my Impact review. This is brilliant. Because Aries has this perception of giving off that type of feeling to the people who watch professional wrestling. He's difficult to work with. He's a prick. He's nasty. He's narcissistic. Great. So they picked the right person and the right storyline and the right situation to fool everybody, to get people talking, and Aries is still at the company. But everything lined up and it was placed perfectly and portrayed brilliantly. I love it. I absolutely love it. Listen, this is why we love professional wrestling. Who wants to go into a pay-per-view and know everything that's happening before it happens? This got everyone talking. Now, it would have been fucked up if it was a shoot. And I would hold no remorse against Austin Aries for ruining Johnny Impact's moment. And Austin Aries, we don't know really what happened with WWE. It could be the stories that we heard about, he was difficult to work with, he exited with a mutual agreement, blah, blah, blah. I remember him being on Chris Jericho stating that, he asked for his release and they let him rehabilitate at the Performance Center because he was hurt. Now, who knows if that's true or not, but Aries, just by way of kind of elimination, he doesn't have many bridges to burn here in the business, in the industry. He ultimately burned the bridge with the WWE for whatever reason. WWE didn't want him, and who knows what happened there. He couldn't afford to burn a bridge with Impact Wrestling. And if he burns a bridge with WWE and Impact Wrestling, who's going to want to hire him? To what level, to what success will Austin Aries see if he's going to portray himself that way? There wasn't many bridges to burn for Austin Aries at that point. But I was ready to fucking unload on him if this was a shoot. And I'm glad it's not. And I'm even happier for Impact that they got a storyline that's got everybody talking. This is fantastic stuff. Now, whether that means he gets a rematch against Johnny Impact, listen, everybody talked about what happened then. They're going to play it off now and really sucker you in with this shit and give you the perception that he's gone. He's gone. He went to go work for other promotions. He's going to be back. What do you think's going to happen when they book the next match between Impact and Austin Aries? It's going to be even bigger in the end than it was the first time around. And that's what they're going for. They took a risk. They desperately need some momentum as a company because they have no momentum right now. No matter how good their product is, they have no momentum. They have a great roster and no momentum. They have a miserable time slot on Pop TV at 10 p.m. on Thursday and have no momentum. So, excuse them for wanting to blur the lines of what's real and what's not. They need to do this type of shit because they have no other choice to. Their backs are against the wall. And at least they're being creative about it. You can't fault them for that. So I think this is great. Austin Aries, still with the company. It was a work. Loose cannon. Storyline being planned. Coming back to Impact after he gives off the impression that I'm not there anymore. He's going to be working with Ring of Honor and other promotions on the indie scene to try and sell the fact that he did walk out on Don Callis. I love it. Now, if WWE did something like that, I think we'd be all over it. Great stuff there. Let's talk the Saudi Arabian deal, the controversy, Crown Jewel. I got a bunch of news on top of what we already talked about with Crown Jewel and our sentiments of WWE canceling Crown Jewel. Clearly, that is not happening. And I mentioned this on Monday Night Raw Review. WWE went out of their way to promote Crown Jewel and let you, the viewer, know that Crown Jewel is happening on November 2nd. But they did not give you a location of where Crown Jewel is going to be held. You know, they were all up in arms about their Saudi Arabian deal and letting you know that, yeah, we're going to be in Saudi Arabia. Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. The Universal title will be defended. Brock Lesnar is going to be in Saudi Arabia. Blah, 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 blah. WWE didn't want to mention Saudi Arabia because of the nature of the whole issue, the sensitivity to the topic. They didn't want to really push it on Monday Night Raw and Smackdown Live this week. They kind of want to, wait till it blows over and monitor the situation like they said that they would. There were rumors coming out saying that WWE was going to move Crown Jewel to the United Kingdom. Or they were going to move it to somewhere in the UK because the following week after that, the WWE is actually taping Raw and SmackDown in the United Kingdom. So it wouldn't be that far out of the way to book Crown Jewel in a different location, somewhere close to what they are already going to be doing next week. But I'm under the impression that unless WWE comes out and makes an official statement about Crown Jewel and the fact that they're not going to Saudi Arabia, that it's going to be in Saudi Arabia. They are just staying away from the two words, Saudi Arabia. They're staying away from that right now. WWE, for all intents and purposes, is still going to hold this event in Saudi Arabia unless specified otherwise. Simple as that. Crown Jewel's not going to be canceled. Crown Jewel's not going to be moved. The only way that would happen is if WWE takes a huge wrecking ball hit to the stock. If their stock prices completely plummet, then WWE would have to pull out. Then we got JBL and Randy Orton coming on Fox Sports in JBL. And Randy Orton, I think, was interviewed by like TMZ or something like that about his feelings, their feelings on the Crown Jewel situation. And both men uttered the same thing in different contexts. JBL is all about a company trying to uphold their end of the deal. Randy Orton is still on that WWE mindset because he's a company guy as well. About, well, if we're not in the country and we're not doing an event like this, then we can't facilitate change. in the country. So they do believe that the WWE can, I guess, usher in some type of change to the country of Saudi Arabia. So Randy Orton is in. He's all in on Saudi Arabia. And so is JBL. But I would not expect anything else from JBL. He's a corporate cocksucker. Randy Orton, you know, with the story about the talent not wanting to go over there because of their beliefs, because of how this whole thing has played out, or just for their safety, I figured Randy Orton would be one of those guys that is going to step up and say, you know what? I think we need to do something about this. But if Randy Orton is coming out and stating that, you know, listen, how can we usher in change if we're not in there? So if WWE sees guys like Randy Orton coming out publicly and stating that he's okay with going over there, then in WWE's mindset, they're going to take that and figure, well, if Randy Orton's thinking that, then most of the roster's feeling that way. Or if Randy Orton's saying that, then I guess we're okay. We're doing the right thing. I don't necessarily think they're doing the right thing. I think they need to be very, very careful about what they have planned here for Crown Jewel. And I think right now, still, the best course of action is to cancel this particular event in that country, revisit it when things die down, and put it on somewhere else. Or if you can't put it on somewhere else, move everything that you got to the Survivor Series. Tickets aren't even on sale for this event yet. How are they going to sell out a WWE event if nothing is on sale yet? I don't even know when they're going on sale. It's just a really, really up in the air situation. Now, the Saudi Arabian money that's keeping WWE in this deal, while many employees don't want to go. Listen to this. Saudi Arabia is set to play host to WWE's Crown Jewel event, the second show in WWE's 10-year deal with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which is rumored to bring in around $45 million a pop for WWE. But with the recent global relations being what they are, the Saudis haven't had the best look as of late. A missing journalist from the Washington Post has risen question about what happened, and while some are crying murder and dismemberment, the Saudis are saying that it was an interrogation gone wrong. But still, WWE plans for Crown Jewel have not been changed. Now, Brad Shepard on the Barn Burners No Holds Barred podcast said that he heard from his sources that the only thing at this point, other than President Trump saying something about them doing the show and telling WWE that they simply can't put on Crown Jewel, is if the stock prices plummet. That's exactly what I just said. The Saudi Arabia situation, he says, and I quote, the Saudi Arabia situation was a hot topic in the office in WWE this week. He spoke to a source, did Brad Shepard. He says, I spoke to a source in WWE about the situation today, and they eventually said of the situation that this is one of those things where you kind of sold your soul, and it's catching up to you. Vince McMahon sold his soul a long time ago. Whatever was remaining of it, he gave to Prince Salman over in Saudi Arabia. The Saudi deal looks great on paper, but it came with a price, and well, this is what WWE got with it. It's like going to Starbucks and ordering a fucking chocolate biscotti. WWE went to Starbucks and ordered several fucking Venti caramel macchiatos and got the whole fucking basket of chocolate biscottis. But in this case, the whole basket of chocolate biscottis came with a dismemberment of a Turkish reporter. Yummy. The show is in less than 2 weeks, and they have a 10-year deal, so it looks like right now, to opt out is out of the question. So the deal is not ironclad, but WWE right now is still going to put on the show. As they reported, Brad Shepard says, as I reported, there is absolute pressure within the company, and you can see that by the way they pulled it off on the website and then reposted it today. So there's a back and forth about Crown Jewel right now in the WWE. They were told not to mention the location of Crown Jewel on Raw. Same thing on Smackdown Live. It shows you the kind of back and forth that goes on in this company. If If the news about Saudi Arabia doesn't cause the stock to plummet, I expect the show to continue as advertised. Now, only time will tell what happens with the stock prices. Anything can happen between now and November 2nd. WWE can completely crash in the next couple of weeks. But it was said that a huge drop in the number could also be enough to cause WWE to reconsider. Joe from Barnburn also said that a call from President Donald Trump could also cause WWE to cancel the show. But right now, being that Trump and McMahon are best friends and his wife is actually working for his camp, right now the plan is to carry on as planned. So that is that. Dave Meltzer, opposed from Barnburner and Brad Shepard, he has his take on this. Dave Meltzer says, and he expanded on the idea during a Wrestling Observer radio segment, where he confirmed that not only do some superstars do not want to go, but most of the WWE production side doesn't want to make the trip either. And he confirmed that one of the reasons why WWE is so insistent on doing the show is because they are afraid it would hurt WWE stock price if they pulled out of the Saudi show. Money, money, money. Can I cue up the $1 Million Man's theme song? Seriously. They're worried about money, 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 money. And that's all they worry about. And it's causing the product to fucking suffer. Really. Their greed is allowing the product and everything that we see on TV to fucking suffer. He says, and I quote, "I heard that most of the production people don't want to go. The majority of people are very much against doing the show, but everyone in management is for it because they're afraid that it would hurt the stock price, and that's a really big deal right now. You know, it's just a lot of money, because one of the reasons the stock is so high is the idea of that $450 million over the next 10 years. So you take that out, and it would drop. You know, I don't know how much, but it would drop. If it's $45 million a year, it depends on how much is profit. Because you look at the last quarter, and yeah, there was $45 million in extra revenue, but the profits weren't really that much. So they must have spent a ton. I mean, they still profited doing the Greatest Royal Rumble, but it wasn't like it was a giant difference in profits. I mean, the profits were very, very low. Not low, but low. I forgot what they were for the quarter, but they were only in the 12 million range for the year. End quote. That's from Dave Meltzer. It appears that we're not going to see much of a change to Crown Jewel after all, unless something huge happens and one of the biggest names on the planet, Donald Trump, intervenes, or the almighty dollar slips away from WWE's stock price. So again, just like I said before I even read any of these news articles, the WWE and their stock does not drop, then they will continue in Saudi Arabia. If WWE doesn't come out and say that they are moving Crown Jewel, then it will be taking place in Saudi Arabia. They're only not mentioning Saudi Arabia right now because of the sensitivity of everything that's going on, and they don't want it to be featured on television right now with everybody up in arms. Simple as that. But I wish the wrestlers, and I wish the production, and I wish everybody involved would gang together and pretty much become one voice and tell the WWE. And even at that point, I don't even think it would be worth anything. We don't want to go. We are against going. We don't want to do this. You know, what is WWE? We're going to fire the entire fucking company? They can't have a show if they don't have a production team. They can't have a show if they have several wrestlers, top guys, come out and state that they don't want to be there. A Daniel Bryan, an AJ Styles, you know, a John Cena, and whoever else is in the Crown Jewel. Kurt Angle, a Rey Mysterio, a Jeff Hardy. We don't see any of that going on. So I guess right now, everybody's bending over backwards to adhere to the WWE, and they're being good little boys and girls. Or in this case, no girls, because the women aren't even going to be there. They're being good little boys. Good little puppets to Vince McMahon. It's a shame. It's a shame how money has ruined this company. And we don't know what WWE is going to do. Still, It's 2 weeks away. 2.5 weeks away. The WWE's image, if there's one thing that WWE cares about more than money, it's their public image. They work so hard to just wipe the shit that was their image, stemming back from what happened in the 90s and the early 2000s. And WWE is at a point right now where they got sponsors signing on board and coming on board, and everybody wants to bring in WWE because it's family fun entertainment. The only thing WWE cares about right now are their profits, their money, revenue, and their public image. And everything else is in the distant following those two. It's money and their public image. If WWE doesn't have their public image, then they're not going to have very much success. So we'll see what happens, man. There's still a little time. We don't know. Anything can happen between now and Crown Jewel. But right now, I wish everybody would stop talking about it. And everybody would stop reporting on it, including me. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Crown Jewel is going on as planned in Saudi Arabia. And we'll probably see the same thing happen on Monday and Tuesday where they don't mention Saudi Arabia. They just want it to be over and done with and get the hell out of here and on with the rest of the year into 2019. That's all WWE wants to do. The WWE actually responded to several reports of superstars and production team not wanting to participate in Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel, as you guys know, all this week, hot topic. Wrestling Inc. is reporting that WWE has responded to a question about how they feel about their superstars' displeasure of going to the Crown Jewel event. It is pretty generic in response, and much of what we've already heard before, with WWE assuring once again that they are monitoring the situation. They say, and I quote, this is an official statement from WWE, "As always, we maintain an open line of communication with our performers as we continue to monitor the situation." We're just going to have to wait and see. We're just going to have to wait and see. Right now, it's still on. There was an interesting option for relocation. Like I mentioned, Crown Jewel, if they wanted to relocate it, it's not out of the realm of possibility. So, WWE will be having this event in Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. If no other mention of it is being made about it being moved, it's going to be in Saudi Arabia. Now, the idea is being thrown out there that the Daily Beast picked up on something that WWE could simply do. This was being reported by the Daily Beast, that the WWE could simply extend their UK tour in early April and host Crown Jewel in Manchester on November 4th. It was noted that the venue doesn't have an event scheduled on that day either. So, Manchester. I think that would be great. And I mentioned this several times already. You know, it sucks from a fan's perspective that we have to get such a huge show in front of people that don't give a flying fuck about the company. They don't give a flying fuck about what happens on television. I mean, for Christ's sake, the Saudi prince wanted Yokozuna at the Greatest Royal Rumble. He wanted Yokozuna and Umaga and the Ultimate Warrior. I mean, what the fuck? Seriously. They don't care. And like I said, as a wrestling fan, you know, I may be a little biased here. With Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement, to us here in the States, that's a pretty big fucking deal. But Shawn Michaels got to come out of retirement to Saudi Arabia, and people that probably didn't even realize he retired. People who don't care about the current storyline. They just want the big name. They want the big name for their economic change as a country. Those people don't deserve that type of moment. That's why I wish Crown Jewel would be fucking moved. If it got moved to Manchester, I'd give it a thumbs up of approval. Those people don't deserve Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement. That is a waste. Shawn Michaels is making what? $2 million per match? Possibly? So yeah, it's good for him. But if we're looking at it as fans from the outside looking in, what a joke. What a waste. Shawn Michaels' retirement should be here in the States for us. Or coming out of retirement, rather. Him coming out of retirement should be here for us in the States. Or in Manchester. For people who haven't had a fucking pay-per-view since SummerSlam 1992. Come on now. I wish WWE would really do something about it. But they can't. It's easier said than done. If I'm playing WWE 2K19, yeah, I can change the location of the event. Saudi Arabia, yep, we're going to move it to Manchester. Or we're going to move it to Los Angeles. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. Triple H had a big announcement for the audience at the NXT UK television tapings. So only time will tell what he ends up breaking at the show. And I'm sure that has nothing to do with Crown Jewel. Nothing to do with Crown Jewel. Because the current set of tapings that we got that aired on the WWE Network this week, I think spanned the entire month. So Triple H's announcement has nothing to do with Crown Jewel. I'm sure they have to do with the NXT UK Tag Team titles, because they were just unveiled. So that's what I'm thinking there. Triple H and his big announcement, whatever the fuck this announcement is, or is being reported, has nothing to do with Crown Jewel. So the United Kingdom, like I said, would greatly approve of this move, and they haven't had a pay-per-view in 26 years. It could also make sense for Crown Jewel to take place in England as well, because their queen wears a crown. So, let me know what you guys think about that. You UK guys who are listening to me. Would you be interested in having Crown Jewel take place in Manchester? And am I completely off base here with having Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement happening here, where it matters most, on American fucking soil, with people that actually give a fuck? Seriously. I can't wait to see this shit show that is Shawn Michaels' first match back from a 8-year retirement. Cody Rhodes actually responded to the Crown Jewel controversy, believe it or not. Yes, Cody Rhodes of the Bullet Club of the Elite. Yes, Cody Rhodes. NWA World Heavyweight Champion. WWE has generated a ton of interest in their upcoming Crown Jewel event. If anything, it's got people fucking talking, for sure. But mostly for the wrong reasons. Now, Cody Rhodes has weighed in on all of this as well. Although he didn't directly say WWE or Crown Jewel or even Saudi Arabia, the timing of his tweet couldn't have been more appropriate for him to be talking about anything else. Now, he tweeted out, and I quote, he called people clueless and irresponsible. That's what he said. The American Nightmare said that wrestlers of today are more talented and responsible than ever, and it seems that those in charge of them are not so much. He called everybody in charge of wrestlers today clueless and irresponsible. Needless to say, this isn't a good look for those hoping to have Cody go back to the WWE, because he might be in the same boat as the other superstars who reportedly don't want to go entertain the Saudi royal family, but ultimately have to because they are slaves to Vince McMahon. So Cody's speaking out on it, but according to Cody, wrestlers need to band together. He could have been speaking in general because that's a nice sentiment, but almost, it's just eerily similar to what is going on right now, and I don't think he's talking about anything else. Seriously. He took everybody feeling that they don't want to go over there, and they're either fearing for their safety or they don't want to go over there for their beliefs in this entire situation. And he says that everybody needs to band together and come together as one and speak up as one. You're not going to get anywhere if you don't. Your voices will not be heard unless there's an army to say it to Vince McMahon. So Cody's chiming in on that as well. And like I said, he says that everybody in charge of the wrestlers today, everybody in charge of the talent is clueless and irresponsible. It all revolves around money. Now, WWE, speaking of the actual show itself, Let's get away from all the politics and the controversial bullshit surrounding this show. What about the show itself? What is going on with the show? As far as direction, booking, maybe a new champion crowned. We got the World Cup. WWE could book a big title change at Crown Jewel to distract from the controversy surrounding the entire event. Daniel Bryan won the chance to face AJ Styles at Crown Jewel after he defeated The Miz in 2 minutes at Australia's Super Showdown. So the WWE Championship will be defended in Saudi Arabia, but fans have widely focused on the event's location and current controversies surrounding the country. Dave Meltzer said on the Wrestling Observer radio show that a possible way WWE could book Crown Jewel might be with the intention of winning some fans back if they go ahead and pull a title switch in Saudi Arabia. He says, and I quote, "They may go in there and say, let's put the title on Bryan because we need to do something to make people happy and distract them from whatever the hell the rest of the aspects of that show are." I think there's probably a mentality there that would be like, well, if we give them a Daniel Bryan win, maybe they'll be happy and maybe they won't complain that we did this show after all. Who knows? Who knows about their booking? End quote. Possibly. WWE is looking that if they give the title to Daniel Bryan at Crown Jewel, then they could write their history to highlight his win and Shawn Michaels' return. Whatever the reason, it's still an interesting idea, and you have to admit that even if you are violently opposed to WWE holding Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia and Daniel Bryan wins the WWE Championship during that show, that you're likely going to at least check it out online. Only time will tell how WWE will book Crown Jewel, but it's almost like they're booking themselves into a political corner, and the love that the fans have for Daniel Bryan might just be enough in their minds to help them pull out of this sticky situation that WWE has found themselves in. So, what you're telling me is WWE is forcing a title change when there doesn't need to be a title change right now, in my honest opinion. So what you're telling me is that because of WWE's fuck up, that the product and whatever good there is about the product has to take a fucking back seat and things need to be altered to fix WWE's mistake. They should have never been in this mistake. They should have never been in this boat to begin with. Now you want to take the one thing on SmackDown Live that has everybody fucking invested and change it just to make people fucking happy? And you don't think those people are going to see that if you give Daniel Bryan the title on that night that it's not going to be a fucking forced political bullshit agenda? That is fucking ridiculous. I want Daniel Bryan as the world champion more than anybody. I want to see Daniel Bryan as the face of the WWE. I want to see Daniel Bryan get the title back that he never lost. It makes for a great fucking story. But if you're going to put Daniel Bryan on Crown Jewel against AJ Styles and take the title off of AJ because of this bullshit, what does that say about you? What does that say about your feelings towards the overall product? It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. They're booking themselves into a fucking corner. AJ winning or something else along the lines to keep the title on AJ and have Bryan chase is the right story. What good would it be if we give Bryan the title now when the title should be given to him at WrestleMania to conclude everything that he's got going on TV right now? Then what do you do at WrestleMania? What do you do with Bryan at WrestleMania? So you're going to ruin yet another moment that is not at a WrestleMania. For what? $45 million worth of Saudi money? For a fucking event for people that don't give a shit? Guarantee you those people don't even give a fuck about Daniel Bryan and give a fuck about who he's feuding with. I guarantee you those people don't even know he's feuding with The Miz. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So, yeah, let's do a big title change. Yeah, that's WWE's great fucking plan. Yeah, we'll give them something happy. It's like the little fucking screaming kid at the supermarket. Here's a fucking lollipop, motherfucker. Shut the fuck up. Suck on that. Or the fucking crying kid in aisle 7 at Toys R Us. Hey, you want a fucking Transformer figure? Go fuck yourself. Shut the fuck up. I'll buy it for you if you shut the fuck up. WWE's treating its fans like a bunch of children. Oh, look at them screaming and crying on social media. Look at them getting all political and telling us to do the right thing. We'll show them. Everybody loves Daniel Bryan. Everybody wants the Yes Movement back at the top of the brand. Okay, we'll give him the WWE title. Doesn't work that way. I want things to make sense. I don't want things to be done to fix your fucking mistake. Yeah, so AJ and Joe and Bryan and Miz and everybody else that's in the WWE title picture suffers. So you speed everything up 4 months ahead of time. And then in typical WWE fashion, there's nothing left for WrestleMania. Why? Because WrestleMania happens 6 times per year. Speaking of WWE and Crown Jewel, the World Cup. Who's going to win the World Cup? Who's going to win the World Cup? Is it the US Open or the WWE World Cup? I can't tell. Truly, I can't tell. Everybody's American. The Olympic gold medalist, John Cena, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, The Miz. Yeah, that's really stretching it there. Finding the world's best talent. Sure. WWE named this the World Cup for whatever reason. I don't know. This is nothing but a collective of talent picked by Prince Salman himself. That's what this was. WWE in the World Cup. How are they going to book the World Cup tournament? Well, the field is set with 6 Americans, which Rusev didn't like at all. But with guys like Kurt Angle and John Cena in the tournament, and knowing that they can't take many bumps, it's going to be interesting in how WWE books this show. Angle might still be able to go, and so can Cena, but neither should be willing to risk too much at this stage of their careers. After all, Cena didn't even take one bit of punishment. He didn't take one bump at the Australian Super Showdown because he was in the middle of filming Project X in China with Jackie Chan. Dave Meltzer speculated on Wrestling Observer Radio that they could take out some of the veterans first and let the younger talent work more matches. They may get rid of those guys quick, like John Cena. They probably will get rid of him with a fluke. Kurt, same way, but who knows? Odds are if Angle is going to be eliminated, it might as well be because of Baron Corbin. WWE will probably set Corbin and Angle up for Survivor Series, whether it's one-on-one or Team Angle versus Team Corbin. Who the fuck knows? I certainly don't give a flying fuck. In all reality, though, everyone in this tournament has a lot of years of championships to their careers, which is why it is set to determine who the best in the world is. It's not really the best in the world because anybody in that ring, I wouldn't even put in the conversation for best in the world at all. Maybe Rollins. That's about it. Right now, at their stage of their careers, nobody else. They've all seen their day. Anyway, now, Crown Jewel already has 10 matches, so none of the 7 matches in this tournament can really go very long at all. They're just there for the amusement of Prince Solomon. Simple as that. This is not going to be a King of the Ring tournament. It's not going to be like a Mae Young Classic where we're watching epic matches every week. You think it's going to be 8 of these guys, 8 top guys like this. You think it's going to be a fucking free-for-all, just competitive nature, right? Guarantee you none of these matches last 5 to 8 minutes tops. Disgusting. Crown Jewel already has 10 matches. 7 matches in this tournament. Can't really go very long. Of course, Rey Mysterio is a wild card in this situation as he is everywhere else a factor because he just returned and needs to get as much momentum as possible. After all, he's still a huge draw, but with some new audience members might have sadly never seen him work. And if they're not keen on history or other promotions outside of WWE, that doesn't really bode well for Rey Mysterio. But I think Rey Mysterio is off to a great start. I think the clip of him and Nakamura on YouTube did over 3 million views just from Tuesday. It's probably much more than that right now. So Rey Mysterio being back in the WWE has certainly created a buzz around the fans of the product. But I'm going into this World Cup with absolutely zero expectation. Meltzer may be right. I can't see John Cena doing anything here of substance, being that he's filming with Jackie Chan. Kurt Angle, he hasn't even had a singles match in WWE yet. This will be his first singles match in WWE. How good can he go? How good is his neck going to hold up? How good is his legs going to hold up? What about his back? Rey Mysterio, tip-top shape. Randy Orton, tip-top shape. Miz, Rollins, Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy's probably banged up too, even though he took a couple weeks off from Hell in a Cell. Those types of guys, I would call upon maybe Rollins and Mysterio, or Rollins and Orton. Guys like that, Jeff Hardy to carry the load. Other than that, I'm expecting nothing from this tournament. I have zero expectations for this tournament. None. And if I go into it with zero expectations and I enjoy any little bit of what they got here with the World Cup, it may be somewhat of a positive. But if I'm going into this thing expecting King of the Ring 1993 Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect like quality, I'm out of my fucking mind. I wish, but it's not going to be that. And it sucks to be us. That's the way the World Cup might end up being booked. Have to wait and see what happens, man. Have to wait and see what happens. Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens here, man. Kevin Owens' injury may be worse than expected. Kevin Owens is out of action and required surgery on each one of his knees. The storyline blamed Bobby Lashley's heel turn for KO's injury, but in reality, it had way more to do with a year's worth of damage that Owens put on his body even before coming to WWE. Dave Meltzer discussed Owens' double knee surgery on Wrestling Observer Radio this week, where he sadly spoke about how one of his knees was worse off than expected, which appears to be lengthening his time away from the ring. Meltzer says, and I quote, "The damage in his left knee is worse than expected, but they're hopeful late February or early March, keeping our fingers crossed." So that's the timetable for what it is. He didn't have full-blown reconstructive surgery on either of his knees, but it was serious. His left knee especially, end quote. This kind of return date for Owens would put him back in action in time for the build for WrestleMania, which is great news for him and everybody who's a fan of Kevin Owens. But only time will tell if they are, or if there is, going to be any more bumps in the road as KO gets healthy. Now, I was playing WWE 2K19, and the storyline that I'm actually up to in Chapter 6 has Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens joining forces to wreak havoc for the United States Championship. I hope that when Kevin Owens comes back and Sami Zayn comes back, that it's right around the same time, and we get both guys teaming with each other and working together. They are each other's best complement. Seriously. And what we've seen on television was some of the most entertaining stuff on Smackdown Live when they were feuding with Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. Yes, it was the end game for that, and WWE kind of strayed away from that for a little bit, but they got right back on track. Sami Zayn, we all loved going into this thing, but we didn't know how he would be on the other side as a heel. Perfected it brilliantly. Kevin Owens, the guy can play any role you want. He's a man of many masks, a man of many faces. You put him in a role, he's going to play that role beautifully. But they complement each other. In a day and age where WWE doesn't have tag teams, and they need competitive tag teams on Raw and SmackDown, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are the perfect act to give you what you need. They can do it on their own, and they can do it as a team. Why not work with their strengths? Seriously. Those are two guys that, by themselves, working together, could get over with the fans. The fans are going to eat up everything that they do. They're entertaining. They are some of the best wrestlers in that company. That's where their strengths are. Owens, I don't want to use this as an excuse as to why they were booking him the way they were, because this is what WWE would have done with Owens even if he was 100% healthy. But I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but then again, I don't. Maybe this is why Owens really didn't do much, because he was fucking banged up. I'm glad he's getting surgery. I'm glad he's going to be on the road to recovery. We may finally get the Kevin Owens that we've longed for all these years. Kevin Owens hasn't really been seen. The real Kevin Owens, would you please stand up? Hasn't been seen since his feud with John Cena. WWE gave you a glimpse of that after he turned on Chris Jericho. And they never went back to that. WWE completely fucked him up again. I can only hope. So if he comes back in February, early March, and makes it for WrestleMania, God bless him. I hope that happens. Even though he does have me blocked on social media. I don't know why. On Twitter. But when he comes back, my first priority for both guys, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, need to be together. Some sort of faction, some sort of tag team. They need to work together. They complement each other perfectly. Work to their strengths. Speaking of Shane McMahon is returning to Smackdown Live. Smackdown Live, full time. According to PW Insider, Shane McMahon's return at SmackDown 1000 wasn't just a one-off and did indeed serve as his official comeback appearance. Shane has been absent from SmackDown Live for a few months prior to Tuesday, allowing Paige to take the reins as general manager. Now, however, it appears as if he's going to be back on a more permanent basis. The report suggests that McMahon will indeed be involved in storylines over the course of the next few weeks and potentially months, which indicates that he could be back in the ring at some point in the not-so-distant future. Shane has been involved in a handful of bouts ever since returning in early 2016, with his last contest coming at WrestleMania 34. So Shane coming back now really isn't all that surprising. You got to get him ready. He's got to work off that ring rush. You got to get him involved for the months-long storyline that are probably going to culminate at WrestleMania, because you know Shane needs a match at WrestleMania. He needs the obligatory match at WrestleMania, just like Triple H needs his obligatory spotlight match at WrestleMania, because they can't let it go. 50-year-old Shane got to be on the fucking card. 50-year-old Hunter got to be on the card. I don't know, man. Some things never change. The older these guys get, the worse that they get. Seriously. I don't even know who he's going to feud with. I hope it's good. I hope they have some sort of storyline or thought involved. Who's Shane going to feud with coming back? I don't know. He's feuded with everybody. Owens and Zayn are in there. Bryan, Miz, Styles, Joe. Maybe Samoa Joe. Maybe Joe attacks Shane McMahon. With all his frustrations and all the bullshit that went on, maybe Shane, instead of attacking Daniel Bryan, instead of attacking AJ Styles, maybe he takes his coquina clutch and chokes Shane McMahon out. Maybe we get a Shane McMahon versus Samoa Joe match at WrestleMania. Who knows? Could work. Only time will tell, but Shane will be involved in storylines over the next few months. Shane has been involved in a handful of bouts. He teamed with Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. He defeated, along with Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. The WWE Universe seems to be split down the middle when it comes to Shane O'Mac getting back in the ring, with critics believing that the near 50-year-old has nothing more to offer inside the ring. Others, however, always love seeing what he is going to do next, because with Shane McMahon comes unpredictability. Whatever happens, regardless of whether it's a wrestling capacity or not, Shane's energy on screen, which is something I agree with, Shane's energy on screen always seems to be infectious, and that can only be a good thing. Paige is kind of wearing thin on me, man, a little bit. She's done a great job up until this point, but we need another authority figure there to complement her. She's done a great job on her own, but Shane McMahon and his energy and the fans that love him, the fact that he's a fan favorite, it's going to be a great thing to see back in a authoritative role on SmackDown Live. So, who knows what's going on with that, and maybe he'll even make an appearance at Crown Jewel. I have no idea, because God knows that they could use some good publicity for that show. Now, while serving, listen to this fucking story. Shane's kids. This was hilarious. And if you finish listening to this and you realize that Vince McMahon and nobody could get through to him, even his grandkids, then there's a fucking problem. Now, while serving on the latest guest of the Opie Radio podcast, Shane McMahon revealed that his children often send complaints and advice to Vince McMahon by either calling or texting him. This is interesting given how many wrestling fans use social media to complain about the decisions within WWE. McMahon made the following comment on his children contacting his father over the WWE product. I quote, "They talk about it. They love it. They give me suggestions like, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to call Pop because that's what they call my dad. I'm going to call Pop because that was crap. Or I love this thing and this is what they should do." And then they'll call Pop or text him. In fact, McMahon also revealed his kids will likely be joining the family business as they are so invested in the company at their young age already. It will be interesting to see if they do join, as it seems Triple H and Stephanie McMahon are set to lead the next generation of WWE. If Vince McMahon is not listening to his fucking grandkids, what do you think he thinks about us? That is downright laughable. That his grandkids, at however age they are, however old they are, whatever age they are, probably have better ideas than what Vince McMahon is doing right now on Monday Night Raw. That is god fucking sad. God awful. I don't know. If Vince is not listening to his fucking grandkids and doing or taking ideas from his grandkids about what they want to see, which is probably a lot better than what we're seeing now, our opinion means jack fucking shit. Jack shit. And I'm going to end right there, man. I'm going to end right there. My voice is shot. I'm done. I need to rest. And we went over quite a bit here on Off the Script, man. Episode 244, part number 1 for your Friday. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you guys on Saturday with more news and rumors right here on Off the Script. Please follow me on Twitter, at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys check out my sponsors, man. We got barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Use code BSHOP20 for 20% off. 17 designs in total. Go get your t-shirts today. The new 100,000 subscriber commemorative t-shirt coming out soon. Harrys.com/script for your free trial shave set. And then audibletrial.com/offthescript. Thank you once again to my patrons. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. And I will see you guys on Saturday morning with part 2 of episode 244 right here on Off the Script. Thank you so much. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll talk to you guys later.